One's a former NFL star turned esports coach.
I was getting the stink eye from my wife. She's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing."
And one's a dad who can't stop playing Rocket League.
These kids these days, they're like, blah, 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 blah. We're used to jump and run.
Together, they welcome you to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge.
Welcome to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge. It's clearing my throat, man.
Let me clear my throat.
Yes, indeed. I'm your host, Ahman Green, and welcome to the fun show of Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge. Let me get to my read here. We keep it real here, all right? We keep it real here. So, welcome to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge, the ultimate destination of all your things gaming, hosted by myself, former NFL running back, and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer, and all-time leading rusher as well, and also gaming enthusiast. And I got my good friend and teammate John Audius along with me. So this is our show of weekly, gives you a weekly getaway for news, for our hottest game releases, big topics, and the breakdown of my God, probably the craziest episode of The Boys I've ever watched. And that's just I think. I don't know how to put that. It's some parts of it, John, that I'm not even going to reference. Okay, it's just that bad. It was just The Boys comic book I knew was crazy. I read some of the issues of it. Oh my goodness. But this episode 6, Dirty Business. This got to be a classic. It has a set a record on things that you should not be watching if you're 18 and under, or 15 and under. I would say 15 and under for sure.
I haven't gotten to it, but that's saying a lot, Ahman.
Yeah, The Boys. It's wild.
Yeah.
So yes, that's what we're doing. Breaking down the boys, breaking down some games, having a good time, catching up with one another, and trying to basically brighten up our days, our weeks, and stuff like that. So, John, man, checking in with you, man. How you been?
Been doing well. It's been
Good.
unusually hot
Oh,
here
Wisconsin.
in
Yes.
Wisconsin. Yeah. So it's
Yep.
been in the 80s, but it hasn't been like a bad hot. It's been a nice hot, in my opinion.
Okay.
What else
Cool.
have we been doing? Covering volleyball. Just had a match with the volleyball team played at the basketball arena in Madison. So
Gotcha. Cool.
15,000 fans came out last night to watch Wisconsin win. So just
Who they play
same old,
against?
same old. They played Marquette.
Oh, yeah. Oh, state rival game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, that
and
was
then the other thing is too, the NFL is back, and so I'm having fun watching
loving it. Loving the league going on. College football's back, even
College
though
football.
and like this week of games, it seems like it was like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde of some teams. It's like last week the Cowboys look like world defenders or breakers, and then this past week they look like they can't even get the ball out of the backfield. It's like, come on, like wow. CD Lamb came in hot the week before, but then this week I don't know his stats. I just know the game was 44 to something against the Saints. Like when did the Saints get good? Like
I don't
just
know.
want to know.
I don't know. Maybe they aren't, but they sure look like it.
They're what is it? They're posturing. Or they're in maybe an imposter roster there. Got Derek Carr dropping dimes and a lot of touchdowns. But if you have an Alvin Kamara on your roster, did you see his stats?
I heard they were insane.
Yeah, he had 4. I don't know about his yardage, but he had 4 touchdowns by himself.
Yeah,
I don't know how many were rushing or how many were receiving, but he had 4 touchdowns total. So when you got your starting running back doing that, and then the quarterback throwing up yards too, the defense don't have that. The defense is very fresh because they're off the field a lot, and you got guys like Cameron Jordan, the DN, that's Pro Bowler. I think he's been Pro Bowl like 6-7 times. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer once he's done. When you got guys like him on the defense, so makes it real easy for them to go out there and let loose.
Alvin Kamara, 115 on the ground with 3 touchdowns, 2 catches, 65 yards, and a touchdown. It's a pretty good day. 175 total with 4 touchdowns.
That's a darn good day.
Yeah.
That's a fantasy GM's dream for what your running back will do in a day. So I wonder what was his fantasy stats. I know you could check that up real quick. What was his fantasy stats?
I was looking at a different website.
Oh, okay. Oh, but yeah, we had that. What's up, Dome Rocker?
Yeah, what's he talking about?
He said he said has some freshly dyed hair. No, that's not dyed.
I don't dye my
hair.
hair.
It's just up in a different style. He got rid of the longness.
Yeah.
You know, he had the ponytail through the summer and the previous years, but now he's straight cut.
There's some white in hair in there if you look close enough. Maybe it's the lighting.
You can see my beard here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't think I ever want to dye my hair.
No, I'm not down. I say if I wanted to get into, like, when I started streaming, I was like, you know what? Since I saw Ninja do, and I was seeing like streamers dye their hair for requests from the chat, I was like, let me ask the chat, what color should I dye my hair one day? And I was just going to dye it blue, and it's like, and not put it on them and say, hey, you know what? I like blue's my favorite color.
Did you ever think about that before streaming, like in the NFL?
No.
Because Rodman would have been around,
He was at the end, like I was a rookie when he was still playing. So in 99, 98, 89, or 89, 80, 98, 99, I think he was still with the Bulls then. Michael Jordan was just about to retire. His last year was 98, and then he retired in 99 and 2000 and came back in 01 with the Wizards, or 02 with the Wizards. Because remember, I don't know if you remember, Wizards made it to the playoffs and played Milwaukee in the playoffs in like 02, 01, somewhere in there.
With Jordan?
And I was able to get, or he was just on the roster. No, he played a regular season match against the Bucks in the stadium, Bradley Center, when it was. Is it still Bradley Center? No, it's changed.
Pfizer Forum.
It's Pfizer Forum now, but it was Bradley then. That's all for a long time ago. So yeah, I was able to watch MJ. I've never seen MJ in person to play a game. I've met him before, but never seen him play.
What was that like? How did you meet him?
So I was a Jordan athlete.
Okay.
I'm a humble brag a little bit here. So Jordan athlete, got the chance to go to his golf event. He does in the Bahamas. I don't know if he still does it, but he did a golf event for the Michael Jordan, I don't know, Foundation or MJ, his brand, in the Bahamas at the Atlantis. We stayed at the Atlantis Hotel in the Bahamas, and then the golf course that was on the island as well.
Nice.
Everybody, that's where we played the golf event. And so met him there, met him at NBA All-Star Weekend, hung out with him there, and it was Denver. I think it was 2004. Okay. So that was fun. You know, seeing a guy that's one of my idols and get to hang out with him. It's like, man, it doesn't get any better than this. So there's my humble brag for today. All right.
Love it.
But man, NFL crazy teams don't figure out. Like I said, Cowboys trying to figure out what they're doing. Saints, they're in territory that I don't know if they've been in a while.
Packers put in Malik Willis, and he misses like 2 passes.
Awesome. Was it 12 for 14 at 177 yards and a tutty? So that looks good for the Pack, and to know that he got a guy that, you know, as Jordan heals up, comes back, you know, in about a month, the team will really not miss a stride. And for Malik, that's just, you know, huge confidence builder throughout, you know, his reps out there on the field and on the practice field. And so, yeah, I think that's awesome. Josh Jacobs ran like a man possessed. He had 157 yards, I think 4.7 average, 32 touches. I was like, man, I think it was Aaron Jones was the last back, probably like it was 2018, 2016, somewhere in there, that had over 30 plus carries in a game for the Packers.
Do you know your high?
My high was like 35, 36 carries.
Did it feel like 35 or 36?
No, it didn't. It sure didn't. I always wondered that how, you know, if I had 30 plus carries, what would that feel like? Like, oh man, I'll be dragged out, just tired, tongue on the ground, dragging. Nope. I actually felt okay. And I was like, oh, really? But consistently, you don't want to do that. It's like, you know, I said consistently, you don't want to give your main dog a running back 35 carries a game. You don't want to do that. That's not wise.
I've got 31 carries in 02 for 136 yards and a touchdown.
Okay.
I also received a receiving touchdown that game.
Yeah.
I'm still scrolling. Yeah, you played a lot of games.
Yeah, the Bradley Center average historian. Oh my God, old school. He's the old Milwaukee historian there. So yeah, I'm pretty sure. How many times you been in there, John, and average historian? Been into the Bradley Center? I probably was like a handful of times for me.
Once.
Just once?
I went to the Bradley Center. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was in there probably a handful of times. A couple playoff games back in 02 and 01.
Oh, nice.
Regular season games between 2000 to 2012 or 13 or 14 or something like that. Yeah, I had a good friend that was a part of their staff. He was their equipment manager. And he would, you know, hit me up, say, hey, G, you coming down to the game? I said, yeah, you know what? Yeah. He said, I'll help you get a ticket. So again, second humble brag of the day. Then we'll stop it. Stop the humble bragging.
We get it. You went to basketball games, probably courtside, and you met Michael Jordan.
No, I didn't go courtside. I said in gym pop. I will say that. I will admit that I stayed in the general population area. So no courtsides for me. I don't think I've ever had a courtside at an NBA game. So I can't say that. That's facts. No, really, I haven't.
I'd love to be courtside at an NBA game. Can you imagine? Have you seen, I got distracted here. Have you seen these bars where you can sit like, it's like, you know, the Sphere in Vegas?
Yes.
Think of that, but in a bar setting. It's like this huge screen, and it's like you're sitting at the 50-yard line or courtside. Oh, and it looks like you see the videos.
Yes, I've heard about that. I've seen them. Yep, I've seen them on YouTube.
Look like you're walking into the stadium. That's how big this TV is. This screen is. That's what I want to do. I want to go to one of those games.
And then they have a VR, either the Oculus, or maybe your PlayStation. You could go VR going to NBA games. There's an app that you could program or that you could buy in the Oculus that puts you, that's a Game Pass. It's like NBA Game Pass, but you feel like you're watching the game courtside because you got the goggles on. I know of that. And then also real quick, John, before we move on, quick Hittin news bite. Did you catch Beetlejuice in theaters part 2 yet?
I have not.
Oh man, it's worth the price of admission to go to the local in Wisconsin. So that is Marcus Theaters, and maybe AMC in Madison, maybe AMC, but Marcus Theaters, check it out. So chat, if y'all haven't seen Beetlejuice yet, the sequel of it, they did a really darn good job with it. It's worth theaters. Me and my wife went last weekend. Fantastic. They did a good job. Tim Burton directed it. He kept it original in terms of he didn't have no CGI. He had his own makeup artist. So the makeup that we saw from the original Beetlejuice back in 1988, 89 was all the same. So a masterpiece of not, I say comedy horror, you know, because it's not scary at all. It's just kind of weird or whatever. And goofy looking creatures in the underworld, stuff like that. So yeah, check it out if you can this weekend. If you're not watching football or if you don't have volleyball, go check out Treat Your Wife. And how old is your daughter now? She's
11.
11. She's getting close. She could probably. It's not. I don't think it would scare her too much. It might creep her out. It's kind of like Coraline. Did she watch Coraline?
No, but she did like The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay,
different,
and that's about the level of Beetlejuice. But yeah,
yeah,
you know, you be the parent. You know, I'm gonna be 5-year-old mom. Be like, go see it. No, but what you got here, John?
All right, so this is what I'm talking about. Where you can go to these bars.
Oh, they at the big house. Yeah, they in the Ann Arbor Stadium. Watching it?
Oh, come on. Apparently the internet can't stream
now. It's thinking about it. It's buffering.
It's a screen. It's an 8K screen in front of
8K?
I guess they make 8K.
Wow. That is crazy.
And as you can see,
that does look good. That looks fantastic. Oh, wow. It does look like they're at the stadium.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Oh, that's amazing. No, it's all good. It's the internet. My computer. Remember, I texted you earlier. I didn't know we was gonna have the show. My internet was thinking about it too. So I reset my modem, and boom, everything got the floodgates were open, and now I got my broadband back again because it kept not loading the screens. I was trying to load and read my articles and stuff for today's Quick Hit News Bites, and it just wouldn't do it. So let me get ready for Quick Hit News Device right now. Go in here and do that. So there's the News Bites up, and let me get the music for John right here. What you got cooking, John?
Okay, so this one caught my eye. Pokemon, gotta catch them all.
Of course.
Pokemon catches a company on copyright infringement. So, yeah.
That means give me my money, right?
Yeah, exactly. The Pokemon company won a copyright lawsuit against a Chinese company over the game Pocket Monster Reissue, which is accused of copying characters like Ash Ketchum and Pikachu.
Okay, can't do that. That's like the Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods of Pokemon, pretty much, right? That was the best line of the day right there.
There it is. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And Pokemon Company was awarded $15 million in damages.
Oof.
So the Pocket Monster Reissue was a turn-based mobile RPG launched in 2015 and reportedly earned $42 million in a single year.
Woo. Oh yeah, they owed up. They need to
and they're just straight up be like, hey, we got Pikachu. Like,
man, that's like
what are you doing?
Yeah, that's like my situation, because a lot of my former college teammates are like, hey man, can we go back and like retro sue the NCAA in NIL? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, because I know some players are doing that, or going back and retrograding the NIL stuff. So that's interesting.
Yeah,
this was 2015, you said, right?
Yeah. So it's yes, I believe it was in 2015.
Wow.
But I mean, they don't go after like fan made projects because they're like, hey, they're just trying to promote the brand, I guess.
Right. Exactly.
But this one is making $42 million in a single year.
Yeah, you gotta pay up.
Yeah,
you owe us something, because we
speaking of
know.
that NIL and looking back, did you see? I'm going all over the place. Did you see what I think it's Tennessee is doing?
Yes, they are
10%
raised
every ticket.
Yep, to help out with NIL and competing, obviously, with all the Power 5 schools and recruiting and paying the players that are already on campus. And something that the NCAA is already enacting, starting this spring, will be the fact, or they started this spring, or they already started, that every Power 5 school will do it's basically, see, it's getting closer and closer to the NFL. Every Power 5 school will then be doing collective bargaining where the NCAA will divvy out to each Power 5 university $22 million for all the athletics. So all athletic departments in Power 5 schools will have $22 million to distribute to all the sports in their sports programs. So that's men and women's sports all together. And then Tennessee has come up with this idea to add, to try to double the pot, to match that 22 to 44 million. So then they'll get the chance to pay their players more money. So that's why. And yeah.
Can you imagine the amount of money? Like if you get 22 million, how many student athletes do you reckon there are on a given campus? 500?
Yeah, at least.
That's like $45,000 a student athlete.
Right. And they're on scholarship. So that's going in a bank account.
And they've got all their other side deals if they have that. Plus they get like cost of living and things like that. And in addition, if you're at Tennessee and they put that 10% on football tickets, how much do you think a football ticket costs?
Well, average ticket is probably between 50 and 60. No matter where the seat is, that's the average, right?
50. Let's say it's 50. Do you know how many fans fill that stadium at Tennessee?
Yeah, they said over 100,000.
100,000. Right? That's $5 million extra per home game to put into the little collective for the football.
I believe every college football university will take that recipe. Say, you know what, give me that recipe. I want to use that for us as well. Because the Huskers did this for a practice during training camp this past off season. So right before the season started, their third or fourth practice or fourth or fifth practice that was on a Friday or Saturday, they said to them, it was kind of like, come and meet the new Huskers. And so they charged the fans a little bit of extra money just to come watch practice. It was basically like a spring ball, but in the fall, and it was all directed towards raising money for NIL, basically. So now I think the hot job right now at the university level is marketing and promotions right now, because then you got to come in and have fun ideas. Be like, you know what, we could do this for NIL. We could have this program like what Tennessee's doing. Let's raise the ticket prices 10%. Then for this game or these games or this practice, whatever, what have you, for NIL, and then fans could help out, because it's a state thing for every state that these teams are in. It basically, they're state university, they got to get supported by the people in the state. So that's why and how Nebraska, Wisconsin, Illinois, USC, Notre Dame, what have you, except for Notre Dame, they already got a ton of money. So they're the only outlier of this. So beyond, and then they're independent, so then they're not connected to no conferences. So that's one thing, they're an outlier. So for the schools that are in conferences, they are banking on the state people like us that are fans to put in some money in the pot throughout the years to keep this thing up, where the universities like Ohio State, like Don Bronker mentioned, can be competitive and get players just like NFL teams can. So there you go.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I'm guessing if they put a 10% talent fee, they must be taking home $500,000 toward the student athletes every home game.
Something like that. Yeah,
between 100 players on a football team, if they just want to straight up just keep it in football and distribute it to the players.
Yep.
It's not bad.
Not bad. But then, can't forget, there's volleyball, there's basketball, there's track, there's baseball, bowling, tennis, track, all that. So you got all 13 or 14 different men and women sports at every university. So make sure you and it has to be distributed evenly, obviously, but you got to make sure you got enough. You want to raise that pot, like Oregon. Phil Knight said, hey, I got a blank check for y'all.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So yeah, this is a very, in terms of Pokemon company though, getting their money back, making sure, no company, there's no NIL going on here. You're not going to make money. If you are, you got to give me my cut. That's what Pokemon's saying here. Hey, give us our cut, partner. Even though we're not partners, you was doing this on the side. So speaking of Sly, you know what? I'm going to give a shout out to Sly real quick. Do the quick read here. All right, where is it at? Play is an essential part of life, y'all. So shout out to Sly. Whether it's digital or outdoors exploring, your world is fun. Keep the good times rolling and support your play with Boost, Sly, or Sly Boost, Sly Chill, and Dream. So explore. And I'll be doing some big tailgating events with Sly this season, John, and chat. I'll be headed down when the Packers play the Jaguars in, I think it's October. And then in December, mid-December, the Packers are going to Seattle. And so it's a sponsored event, and one of the sponsors is Sly. So I'm able to go up to the event, hang out, which I haven't been to Seattle for a game ever as a fan, as a retiree alumni. So I'm super excited about that. So shout out to Dr. Tom and his wife Amy. They're chugging along, man. If you look up at Sly, go to, I have the link in the chat. It pops up every 15 minutes. But if you haven't been in their website, they're doing a lot of partnerships, a lot of big things, and they want streamers. So if you're a streamer and you have a good little following, reach out to them. I got their information in my bio on my Instagram. You can check them out. Go to their Instagram page. They're on Instagram. They're on X. They're on TikTok. So they're always out there. They're looking for content creators of all shapes and sizes. So I think that'll be a good come up.
No caffeine energy, and then they got like the relaxation drinks too.
Exactly, and they work. I took some Boost the other day after a hard workout, making some new friends in the Houston area. Went to this CrossFit gym, which I have been to in a while. Shout out to my man Don, who's a friend of mine, Mike, in Nebraska, and we went. They were trying to put me. I did it, but I was like, I'm only gonna do a certain amount of reps. It was 225. I haven't deadlifted 225 in like 5 years. And it was like supposed to be like 10 reps. I was for sure doing 5. I was like, I'm good. My back is gonna be mad at me. So I was like, nah. All right. So
I think competitive people have to be very careful in CrossFit.
You do. I have to be like, I'm competitive, but I'm like, I can't let it get to my head. I see everybody throwing up this weight. I said, you know what? 5 reps is my I haven't touched a barbell with 225 on it. Like I said, before COVID, that's the last time I lifted anything that heavy that wasn't weights. So boxes, moving treadmills, because we just moved last year, but not no straight up deadlift. So no, I had to be careful. So Dome Rocket says I might be going to the Seattle game. Sweet. So I'll be there. I think it's December 15th. The Packers play the Seahawks in Seatown up there in the Great Northwest. So we'll be checking that out here. All right, my turn.
Big Ten country, I call it.
What's it called?
I said Big Ten country because everybody's in the Big Ten now.
Facts. All right, here my story for big quick hit news buy. So PlayStation 6 chip choice will help with backwards capabilities, basically. So remember 360 in the chat. Remember the Xbox 360. If you still had it, and even the new Xbox now, the Series X and the Xbox One could play games from the 360, could play games from the original Xbox. So now PlayStation, that has been working with, I believe, AMD for the PS5 that came out in the last few years, during COVID. And so now the chip manufacturer that makes the chip for the PlayStation has been bidding, so they always go to the bidder. They go to AMD. They went to, what's the other chip company? Intel. They always go to them to bid out, who's going to have the best prices, and then who's going to have the best chip worth putting in our console. And right now, AMD won the bid from Intel. So right now, the biggest things is the concerns about backwards capability for the PS5, where apparently one of the factors was one of the bigger factors in the decision-making process for them, because obviously a lot of people like to play retro games, So in Reuters report, it says that intense bidding process for the PS5 contract was underway back in 2022. So with AMD eventually beating out competitors like Intel and Broadcom, one of the issues at play was apparently a profit margin that Intel won it on each unit sold. Another thing that similarly helped the AMD over the top was the fact that the sticking with the chip maker would help limit potential issues of backwards capabilities for the next gen console. So for one, the price, you can't, fluctuate with that price. You got to keep it nice. If you don't, you upset the person you're working with, or people, or company right there. So I guess Intel, having saying, hey man, you got to pay us some money. And Sony said, no, you don't. We're gonna go with these guys over here. So that's just sometimes I say you shoot a little too high, John. Chat, when you're bidding out yourself for a job, and sometimes you bid yourself right out of it, of the negotiation, right?
Yeah, and you've got to have the right capabilities, which it seems like the new chip, AMD chip has, is that because that's important. Like you said, that's important to have that compatibility going backwards. And if this is the one that makes it the smoother from, I can't believe, does it not feel like the PS5 was just released in stores like 6 months ago? You know what I mean? Like,
it wasn't that long ago.
And now we're talking about the PS6.
Yeah, and as you read on this, you can find this article over at Kotaku and to finish reading it. But before I finish up reading this thing, the last paragraph says the PS4 console cycle lasted about 7 years, and the PS5, one could say, could go on even longer. So Sony recently told investors that the current console was in its second half of its life, and so its regulatory filings from last year was the reason why they knew that. And so with that, the company suggests that PS6 would not launch before 2028. But in the meantime, the PS5 Pro, which has not hit the market yet, but will here in about another month and a half. You know how much that's going to cost, John? The PS5 Pro?
The PS5 Pro, $600.
$700. Yep. So they got another console coming out, and it's going to end up being the halfway point between the current generation, and the release of the PS6. So this is going to be, they did this with the PS4. They did a PS4 Pro. They did a PS4 Slim. That's digital. It's no disc. You just have the memory drive. You have the drive, the terabyte or whatever they gave you in that. So hey, they've bidding out these consoles, man. These are $500, $600, now $700 for a PS5 Pro.
And I guess
that PS5 Pro better be gangster. It better do a lot of stuff.
And right. So the PS5 was 2020. So I guess it settles the timeline. 94 for the PlayStation, 2000 for the PS2, 2006 for the PS3, 2013 for the PS4, 20. So it's 6-7 years. It's right on track. It's just amazing how these prices keep etching up in these consoles. Because I remember, and I can remember this, buying the PlayStation 1 for $150, or roughly 100, maybe 200. That might be a little low, but maybe between 150. I thought it was 300. I thought we looked
$300. We did. You're right.
$299.
It was $299 plus tax. So yes, I think I put in 150 because it was like a mom and dad thing. My mom and dad was like, "All right, you put in half, we put in half," because I had a job then. And for me to gain stuff, I had to work for it. So that's how it was back in the day. So yeah, having that at $700, man, wow, it's almost that's a PC for sure. If you go to iBuyPower website, you could get a PC built for like $800.
Yeah.
So yeah, wow.
It's only going to keep going up.
They sneaking up, ain't they? They just trying to creep on up. Oh my goodness! Next minute, we're gonna have an Xbox costing $1,500. Like, come on.
Yeah, probably in 14 years. The PS8.
Oh my god, that's gonna be crazy. Hey, so this week wasn't in the mood for this or that. Just so y'all know, wasn't feeling it. So no this or that. And I didn't want to put no requests out for best things on social media. We could do that next week. So we're gonna just head right to the game releases. How about that, John?
Let's do it.
All right. Game releases here.
It's time for the game releases. Game releases.
All right, here. Let's get you set up here, John.
Okay. So once again, I pick these based on just names. So it's not like I'm playing any of these games and they'll be like, this one's amazing. It's just straight up what it says.
Right.
So I picked the Plucky Squire.
Yeah, I got you.
The land of mojo, a world of creativity.
The land of mojo,
Let's have a look around,
John.
shall we?
So
Our
as we
first
watch
stop
this video, it's a
where our
action
wicked
adventure
friend
platform
Ruby
game
hits the turntables.
developed by All Possible Futures and published by Devolver Digital.
On to
Follows the
Toad's
magical
Tower,
adventures
where
of
the
storybook
players
characters
soar
Jot
around
and his
the
friends who
world
discover a
of
three-dimensional world
Plucky hero
outside the
Jon.
pages of their book.
The sonnet swamps
Fun.
is a serene land of
I mean, this
space
looks-
and poetry.
I'm gonna get this from my granddaughter. We're gonna play this when she gets here for this.
Right,
For
and
the
you
summer.
made that decision in roughly 30 seconds by
Yeah.
watching. Yep.
Easy.
Yeah.
Because I love books like that. There were books like that when we were kids, right? And now it's a video game. Oh,
Look at
I love
this.
the characters. I love the artwork. The artwork is cool.
Yeah. It's exactly what I was gonna say. I like the artwork. It seems like a fun idea. Unlike that one game that we reviewed where I was like, they're just making up stuff. Remember that one? Was
Yes.
it Concord? I'm like, they're
It was
just
yeah,
making-
Concord. Yep, Concord. Yep.
It felt
That-
like they were just doing
That
that.
thing got shut down.
After 14 days, after
Right.
2 weeks. But even this, obviously, they're just making stuff up here, but it's got a different feel to it.
Yeah, it's like imaginative creation, coming from a child's mind, even though we got adults publishing it. But the artwork looks good. The game style looks definitely different. And something I'm gonna talk about at the end of the show, being some of my gamer tips. It's just looking real cool, and gets into a different type of genre of gaming there, which I like, because that's gaming, man. You want that escape. I was talking. I don't know if it was this last week. Did we talk about GTA last week? Or was that the week before? That was me on Monday. I do so many shows now these days. Everything's running together. But I was telling a story. Well, I'll get into it later. But yeah, this is a good game. Family game right here, John. Here you go.
Exactly. It looks like a fun family game for the kids, and it's interesting story. The animations, they're pretty cool. So
there you go. And it's what's it? Plucky what?
The Plucky Squire.
Plucky Squire.
I don't even know.
So it's probably definitely on Nintendo. I know that. This is right up Nintendo's alley of games. Then we're gonna transfer over to my game, which is a cult classic here.
Okay. What we got? Why you gotta laugh like that?
I don't know. I'm being silly. I'm just being silly. Hold up, let me get everything right here.
Get rid of the Plucky Squire already. We get it.
Yeah, we get it. There we go. Let's get it going here. We got my man Alex West is back. I think it's Alex West. And this game, I don't know if you played it, John, but I know I played it. Dead Rising is back, yo. For the chat, if y'all played Dead Rising, you know what I'm talking about. But if you didn't, it's the all-time classic game being brought back to life beyond in Dead Rising Deluxe Remastered with a 4K, not an 8K, John, a 4K high fidelity graphics, 3D audio support, voiceover. Oh, Frank West. There you go. Voiceover in 9 different languages and an autosave feature and various quality of life changes for improved playability. So Dead Rising Deluxe. So it's a zombie game.
Yeah.
PS5, PC, Series X, and S comes out tomorrow. And so Frank West was basically like a beat reporter that got dropped into a zombie apocalypse. So you see the update, remastered graphics to everybody, better fine lines in the characters and the artwork there of the bar, the restaurant, the mall that Frank was in most of the time when you were playing the game. Majority of the game took place in the mall, in the town that was the first of many towns that had to experience the zombie apocalypse in this game there. So Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster is back out. And for all you retro gamers or nostalgic finder like myself, this is the game for you right here. I think I still have it behind me in the Xbox 360 thing right there. So
Do you like that? The modern graphics when they
yeah, I don't mind
these?
them updating it. Yeah, I don't mind them updating it. It's okay, to make it look a little cleaner, because you see the line, like you talk about the lines in the face. You see a little bit more detailed under the eyes, the mouth, the hair. Like they'll show everything here in a minute again. The clothes, the bar, the equipment, the mall there. You'll see all the little updated parts of what a company can do. So Capcom went back to the drawing board and was able to make it look fresher, make it look cleaner, similar. It's not quite a prequel, obviously. It's the same game. They just redid it. And so it's better than most movies, I guess, because usually when they try to redo a movie, it doesn't come out well.
Yeah. No, I like that. I don't mind it with video games. I mean, you know what you're getting, right?
Yep. So yeah, there was Frank, old Frank, new Frank.
I like this, what they're doing here with the video showing you.
Original, the Poodle then, the Poodle now. The bar then, the bar now. The mall then, the mall now. And I think he has better moves because he wasn't doing that on the last one for sure. He wasn't doing a kangaroo kick or whatever that was. I know, yeah, you could use that. You could use a golf club and take out the zombies. I do remember that. Crazy Clown, that guy. I remember Crazy Clown. And the zombies were typical zombies. They were very slow and not worrisome at all. So, all right.
Yeah, I like that. It looks pretty cool. I'm glad they showed the comparisons too.
Yeah, you see that. So good work put in by Capcom to have that game coming back out. A big fan favorite there. We have Bane. Yeah, you haven't played it, Bane? Really? Well, you can play it now. It's back out. It's probably going to be a Xbox Game Pass for sure.
You know what I saw as a game? I saved it on Instagram. Maybe it's when we get to what we saw on social media. I can use that next time.
Yeah.
It's a game where it's VR, but you're holding like a Game Boy in the VR, and you're playing a side-scrolling game that controls you in the 3D environment in the game.
Interesting.
So, like, imagine if you were playing Mario, but you were Mario, and you were side-scrolling Mario, but in the VR, it was like, 3D real-world environment. So you jump like on the blocks, like side-scrolling. So you'd have to play the game while in VR while moving through VR.
Oh my goodness, that's
just like a game within a game.
Yeah, you got to be sober for that. Just say that right now, because you say, you know what? Let's get drunk and let's do this. Hey, you're gonna have problems. You're gonna be freaking out. You will lose your mind. You be like, I'm fried. I don't know what's going on.
It looked so wild to think that like you have to play the game in front of you and it's side scrolling and then you're moving forward in the VR that's moving around you.
Oh yeah, my wife has no chance to play that game. She will be throwing up everywhere. She has motion sickness. She would not have it.
Would you say you got to be sober?
Yeah. If you do that with anything in your system, you might freak out. And be in a house or wherever you are on the first floor. Don't try to be on multiple levels. We don't want nobody accidentally falling out windows and everything with that VR on and try to play the game, because the VR, man, gets real, and it works with the vision of it. Can test your depth perception, and if you're going up and down, it makes you feel, because your eyes and brain are working together to be like, all right, this is something I've seen, but my feet are still on the ground. I'm not actually flying, so your brain and your eyes got us like, hey, yeah, we're it looks like we're flying, but we're not.
It's so easy to trick your brain, which makes 100%. You wonder about everything that's happening in real life. Exactly. If it's so easy to trick your brain.
And that's why the movie The Matrix is so amazing, because you're like, they're saying that this is all a computer program? What? Man, when I first saw that with one of my nephews back in 1999 in Seattle, I walked out the theater like this, John.
Yeah, I walked out the theater in 99 too. I was like, that was freaking crazy.
I'm like, they saying all this right now is a computer simulation, dude. My nephew was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, just imagine, we play video games before. He's like, yeah. I'm like, we're in one now. Just imagine that, right? And he's like, I don't even know what I'm like, see, you're not there. You're not there. You got to get on my level. You got to
get on my level. What the average historian just said, we might live in a simulation.
100%.
And if it's true that you believe that civilizations are creating simulations, then simulations have probably already been created, and those simulations have created simulations. So statistically speaking, if there's billions or, even more of simulations running, what makes us think that we're the original simulation?
Facts.
What are the odds? The odds
we need to go to Fox. We need to go to Fox Universal and create a TV show right off of that right there, John.
Yeah.
You just put some. That's a great storyline right there. Because how they always showing up on movies and Prime Video and Netflix, how the simulation is creating, like you said, creating itself. It's in the
I
third
mean,
iteration of.
if we're headed there on Earth right now,
Right.
you can't tell me planet XYZ 200 million light years away didn't get there a while ago. And they have
100%.
simulations within simulations, and the simulators are simulating, and we're supposed to think, no, we're the first. We are the original simulation. We made
Facts. Facts. Hey, this is Gamers Lounge. This is where it goes down.
it.
I didn't even see this from an Everest historian. This is a good one right here. I probably hit. I don't hit 52 weeks a year. I say I probably go at least 30 movies a year in the theaters. In the theaters. It's a thing, man. I like to. I think I explained it a few shows ago that look, if it's a certain movie, it's worth for me. I say okay, it's worth for my $20 and popcorn plus popcorn, whatever.
I get it.
Worth. If it has the actors, it has the director.
I get
or the music conductor of the movie, like Hans Zimmer. He's a famous movie orchestra guy who has been on every hot film. You look up Hans, I think it's Hans Zimmer or something like that. He's been on every big A-list movie, AAA movie or whatever, and even some video games too. But yeah, some are definitely worth. So you're right, average historian. I'm doing that now. And my man Justin, what's that? Justin Rob Doyle says, I want to check out Beetlejuice and the new Transformers. Yes, movie that's coming out, Transformers 1, that he's referring to, that comes out this weekend. The reviews for Transformers have been amazing.
Is this the one that's like animated?
Yes, yes. It's before they find out they are Transformers. Like they haven't got hit with the spark yet. So they're just robots. They're not robots in disguise yet. So
couple things before we move on.
Before we get to what's on stream here.
That I saw a preview for that Transformers movie when I went to one of my, I don't know, maybe 3 movies a year. And I was thinking, thank you for advancing Transformers into something else, because
they went back. So that's
but a different style of storytelling.
Right. Okay, gotcha. Yep.
I was like, just something new and different. Great. And then how many? So you go to about 30 movies a year, Ahman.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, are you like the average consumer where that's down? Where you used to be like 50
it's
times
probably,
a year?
you know what? It might be down because of streaming apps, right?
Sure.
And I have just like I have a system, right? I have a process. Like if I like I said, for the movies that I'm gonna go to the theaters, these are movies between like Steven Spielberg, Spike Lee, Tom Cruise and crew might be in it, Denzel Washington, people like that. Like I know, okay, if Denzel is doing this movie, it's worth going to see it. Or if Tom Cruise is in this movie, it's worth going to see in theaters. Or Steven Spielberg is on the title, boom, I'm going to see this. If I don't see those names, then it's like, you know what, Netflix it, Prime Video. What, the Tubi? Yeah, let's watch that on Tubi. Yeah. I don't know who this is yet. They haven't given me I don't know their street credit, so I'm gonna go to Tubi and Fobo and watch it. Or Disney Plus. There you go, Disney Plus. Hit it on. Speaking of that, it's got some new shows on Disney Plus too. We might need to get into because we only have a couple episodes left of what we're doing with what's on stream with the boys and oh man.
I feel so bad when it comes to this part of the podcast every week because I am not pulling my weight.
Well, no, you're working, bro. I get it. I can't really harass you both, you and Rico, because y'all working, so it's okay. I can carry the load. Sometimes I had to do that as a running back. I'll do it now.
Yeah, like in 02 when you carried it 31 times.
Yeah, there you go. So no problem. All right, here we go. What's on stream,
row,
baby?
row your boat gently up the... sorry. Excuse me. It's time for What's on Stream.
So, John, yes, just enjoy this, man. I don't know what... I just don't know.
I don't want to hear about it.
The boys. Oh, my God. This episode... Well, it starts off... He didn't take himself off. He said he don't want to hear it. Oh, my goodness. So it starts off a clean episode where you got the butcher and, the doctor here trying to get him to make a serum from Gen V to make it where it's detrimental to soups. So it changes them, takes the super out of them. But he's told him, and all the research and all the science behind it, there is none of that. The furthest we can go is that we kill all soups. So if they get injected with this serum that I create and we get it into them, it's not going to just take their super powers away. It's going to end them. And so that's all supers. It's going to be like a pandemic like we had back in 2020. And so, of course, Butcher is like, hold up. Like, it's not just going to kill the Supes that we're going for. It's going to spread. So that means even his son will be a potential victim of it. And so that's where he's like, oh, man, I got to think about this a second time. Got to overthink it, make sure we're doing the proper right thing. Because that's why his wife he's been seeing because of the cancer in his head through this whole time in this last few episodes. And Joe Kessler, who's also been there. But in this scene, though, he finds out, and we all find out that Joe Kessler is a figment of his imagination, just like his wife. And so Joe Kessler is like, I'm you. Like, I'm basically the devil, the devil and the angel on one shoulder, the devil on the other shoulder. So I'm that person pulling all the strings. And I'm the person who killed, what's his name? Malachi or whatever, that the religious guy that could stretch his arms out and he got bloodied all over the place. So that was the Butcher / Joe Kessler, actor Jeffrey Dean Morgan from Fear of the Walking Dead. So that is what went down there, where it was a scene there, and you see that he's really talking to himself the whole time when he thought he was talking to his wife, which we knew was a figment. But then Joe Kessler, we didn't know that for a while, so they ran with that for a while. So now Kimiko is trying to find out, check in on Frenchie. Frenchie doesn't want nothing to do with her. And then remember, A-Train, he's trying to save his neck. So he's talking to Mother's Milk. He's freaking out because they're getting close to finding out who the hole is, which is him. But nobody knows that. Homelander hasn't figured out, and all the cronies haven't figured out. So Mother's Milk is talking A-Train off the ledge from basically going into hiding and making it worse for himself. So he was able to do that. So, okay, this is where it gets crazy and freaky. A lot of it, I'm going to try my best way to get through this episode of The Boys. It is called Dirty Business for a reason. So if you're 18 and up, you're okay. But if you're not, don't allow no person, no child under the age, I would say under the age of 15. So that's what's his name? Web Slinger or something like that. And they're trying to sneak into this party that the 7 is going to have, along with these dignitary politicians that are about to trying to change the law of the Constitution to make what they're going to do and trying to take over the world type thing. So they got to sneak into this meeting. Huey uses that last guy you saw in the video, uses his suit because he won't have to, in the mind of him infiltrating this party he won't have to take off his mask. He'll just play as this guy who they know. And as he's doing this, he's got to just plant bugs around the facility as they are talking. So he has to make sure that is we got a little commercial here. So as the commercial goes, I got somebody knocking on my door too. Well, I got a podcast going, so they got to wait. Let's get through this commercial. All right. So we got Huey. He infiltrates. He's in the 7 and politicians that are the dirty politicians, like people we already know. Don't want to even go down that road. And planting bugs all over the place. So the job is going well at the moment. And then, so he's dropping the bugs. You got Tech Knight there with A-Train and Firecracker. They're all mingling. The head popper's there. If you remember her, she's a politician that nobody knows is a soup, but she's there and she doesn't want to be there. And a lot of people, it's just one of those meet and greet things where he's like, if I had something better to do, I'll go do that. Type of meeting, type of haha poo poo shishi. My mom used to say this poo poo shishi type of event. So this poo poo shishi type of event is where people, of money, of background, of what they think they're somebody, is having to show off their home and whatever. Tech Knight is his home. He's basically like their version of Bruce Wayne in The Boys. And you see Huey, like I said, continuing to plant bugs. He runs into Head Popper where she thinks he is the superhero because of his suit, but he talks and she's like, what? So she can't really understand what he's saying, but she kind of doesn't want to be there. So she don't really pay attention to what he's saying. So she's kind of like, you know what? Whatever. All right. I'm going to go. I don't want to be here anyway. She's not really paying attention to the conversation. So as the night goes on, and then Tech Knight walks into Huey's path and is talking to Huey about their last time together hanging out. So obviously they have a previous past of hanging out together, partying and stuff like that. And of course, Huey is non and boy don't know what he's talking about, but is trying to keep himself alive in the conversation. So from there, him and Tech Knight is showing him around his home, all the different places, different rooms, things, talking about the pictures on the wall, as you see right there, and nuances about his home. And it's a fabulous house. It's a nice big house, just like Bruce Wayne has secret passageways and doors to other places that we are about to find out here. And so this is a secret elevator that Tech Knight has, and takes Huey downstairs to find out that, yes, he is a, billionaire, trillionaire type guy. But since Huey goes downstairs, because remember, Mother's Milk, Starfire, and all the other people, Kamiko is all they're listening to. And now once he goes down in the elevator, they can't hear him because the signal stops. So then they freak out. So they go infiltrate the house looking for Huey, not realizing that the 7 are there. There's Sister Sage, there's Homelander, there's the Head Popper, and they come across. So they're having their conversation with the politicians about what their dastardly plan to basically take over the world as the superhero villains that they are. And the politicians are, giving it back to him, actually, because Homelander gets stuck he's not there yet, but they're conversating about what they got to do as superheroes, what they want the politicians to do as their part in the campaign to make sure everything goes through with it. And, as you see Head Popper's face, she does not want to be there. She does not want to be listening to what Homelander is saying to her right now. And just to save face, she acknowledges him, gives him a little bit of information or a little bit of support of, yes, I'm going to be a part of this, but I do not want to be here right now. I want to get out of here. So I think she moves on after that. But while Starfire and Kamiko and Mother's Milk, like I said, they freaking out because they like, oh man, we don't know where Huey's at. We can't hear him. We don't know where he's at. He didn't chance to relay the message to us. But during this time, she unfortunately runs into Firecracker. So Firecracker is trying to, first she's like, oh my God, you're here. So she didn't tell them. She didn't have enough time to tell anybody that she ran into Firecracker. But so they got into it a little bit, and Starfire, couldn't use her power. She's still kind of glitching out a little bit. And so nothing could really go on there, but she just begging and pleaded with her, don't turn me in. Don't let the 7 know I'm here, because we're trying to find Huey and we're going to get out of here. So she gave her that kind of sob story, and Firecracker kind of went along with it, but most of the time didn't. But then Starfire was able to get a little close to hit her with, I don't know if she hit her. She didn't hit her with the V. She hit her with something to knock her out. And that knocked her out. So boom, she's gone. She's safe. Now Mother's Milk and Kamiko still look for Huey, but runs into Sister Sage. And obviously this is not good either, because she's a part of the whole dastardly plan of Homelander and the 7 taking over the world with the Supes. So they corner her, pulls a gun on her to keep her in the room, but she tries to run. She, unfortunately, Mother Milk has to do what he has to do, shoots her in the head. And if you remember from previous episodes, Sister Sage, she does regenerate. So he shot her in the head, but she will regenerate, even though during the regeneration, she will not be herself for a while because of the brain damage. So the brain will heal. It's just unfortunate because at the time when it does heal, she's going to be reset back to like age 5 or 6 or 7 as a little child. So she gets shot. She's on the ground, bleeding out, but she's healing at the same time. And eventually, when Mother's Milk and Kamiko leave the room and come back, Sister Sage is gone. And then Mother's Milk, during the time he was talking to her, she got him worried about all the things going on with his daughter. So she pushed that, and he has a panic attack. So Mother's Milk is down, Sister Sage is down, A-Train is now helping out, and is like, man, I don't want to do this, but I got to. So he's helping out Kamiko. He's got to get Mother's Milk to the hospital. So he does. He actually helps out in this scene here because Kamiko asked for his help. Even though they got to still find Huey that's lost in the basement, which we're about to get to here in a minute. Totally crazy. So he does his hero deed of the day, and also is seen by a fan right there that's like, oh man, A-Train saved somebody. Pretty cool. Oh, yeah, you're the You're the best, A-Train. Like, all right, whatever. Now let's get down to the craziest part of the boys episode. So Sister Sage just healed up, but like I said, she's reset. Kamiko and Starfire just went down to the elevator to look for Huey because Tech Knight is down there doing unfortunate things to my man Huey. And so this is where, if I'm an actor, I'm gonna definitely have my limits. And this is probably to my limits. So Tech Knight has basically, what's the word, or how can I put it? A room of many things. Like he basically does everything, and everything goes down in this room, from whipping to all other stuff. And like I said, you watch this episode, please watch it. If you're an adult, watch it by yourself or watch it with your friends over 18. And also the assistant, she gets involved there. It just gets crazy, right? It's I'll say freaky, nasty, all that going on. And I'm doing my best to try to explain this without break. Well, I think I'm doing pretty good. So Tech Knight gets closer, starts to figure out that this is not the web slinger that he thought it was. It's Huey. And you see this guy right here. So this is Tech Nine's sidekick, who he has had in bondage and in latex off in the side, who he doesn't like, and also the guy who raises him, who is his butler. So like I said, he's like Bruce Wayne all the way through. So once Tech Knight finds out this is Huey, he's about to go in on Huey. But that's when Mother's Milk and Starfire comes basically haphazardly to the rescue, comes down the elevator door. They see what's going down, take Tech Knight out, excuse me. And so then now it's like, all right, what do we do here? We got what's the room? A room of all crazy bad deeds. I'll say that. That's how I'll say it. A room of bad deeds going on. Huey made it out alive, but it was without having to go through some of the things he went through. Once you watch this episode, you see crazy. So the sidekick and then Tech Nine's butler pretty much say, hey, we got it from here. We're going to handle them. We're going to basically do what Tech Knight has done to us for years. But one thing they did, though, they started interrogating Tech Knight of all his monies and where they can take and send some of the monies to help out charities around the world. So they actually sent out a couple millions and trillions of dollars to different fundraisers of Tech Knight's money. So that's where he's mad, is upset because he's sharing. Huey has asked him for his codes and to send money to like Alzheimer's Association or whatever. And then Tech Knight's butler takes over from there and say, hey, we got this. I'm going to basically handle this crazy kid who I had to raise since he was little. And I'm ready to handle business here. So we got this. So him and the sidekick that was in the red latex, they say pretty much finish off Tech Knight. And now Huey and Starfire and Kamiko are free to go. All the politicians and the remaining 7 members that were upstairs, they still talking, but they're in another part of the mansion. So they'll be able to get out scot-free. And then Homelander starts this conversation with politicians and doesn't go off well. And he looks to Sister Sage, and she's off in La La Land because she got reset. So she's not there to speak up and give them the game plan. So Head Popper steps up and gives them everything they need to know about the plan that they want for all the politicians to be a part of. And so I'm going to stop calling her Head Popper. I want to say, what is her name here? And she pretty much takes the reins and is able to help out. So Victoria Newman is able to help out Homelander. And this is one of the craziest scenes here, man. I don't know. So Firecracker walks up on Homelander. Homelander explaining, he's thinking, oh, here she goes. She's going to try to come on to me again, this, that, and the other. But she's like, hold up, give me a chance. I just want to say I do support you. I'm loyal to you. And somehow, I can't remember how she did it, but she's able to lactate. I'll just say that. And what you about to see here, it's the craziest thing. One of the craziest things on this show is Homelander begins to basically, like a newborn baby, start to, as I can't really say, how am I going to say this? Suck the teat of Firecracker because she's lactating. And I'm just like, okay, the episode over. I've seen enough. I've seen it all. You see that? Oh my God. He's like, she has milk that I want. And yes, he goes and drinks it. So, like I said, this is probably the craziest episode. Yeah, you got a grown ass man. I don't care if TV show or not. Hey, come on. This takes it beyond of craziness. So here, yeah. Whew. I think I made it through that pretty good, right? I did okay. And so at the end here, you got Huey, you got Starfire, they make it back, and now Huey finally gets hit with, he finally gives it up. What between because just you gotta remember his dad died last episode, and before he died, he got stuck on the V and killed a few people. So he's just getting by that, and after sitting through what he just sat through in that torture chamber with Tech Knight. So he finally released some of his emotions about that to Starfire there. So that was good for him. He was able to release it and talk about it. I think that's all good for us. Mental health, gotta do it. And here's Kamiko going back to visit Frenchie again. And so everybody's checking in on themselves now. So she's going to visit Frenchie. Mother's Milk right there was basically at the hospital. He had his panic attack, and the doctor said he thought he had a heart attack, to be honest. That's what he was being. He's like, you know what? It felt like a heart attack. And she said, no, just a panic attack. So whatever you're doing in your life, you got to stop. You got to stop it right now. So whatever it is that's stressing you out so much that you feel like you're having a heart attack, it's not. It's just a panic attack, but it can eventually become a heart attack. So stop it. So that was episode 6, the Calamity episode. I don't know. Calamity, Freaky Deaky. It's The Boys. I'll just say that. It's on Prime Video. And if you haven't watched it, please do. If you haven't started watching it, it's three seasons of it already. This is season 4. Season 5 has been green-lighted, so we'll be talking about this again next year, probably next summer, this time next summer. Well, not summer, but September. The series actually started in June, went through July, so we're just a little bit late. We only have, I think, 2 episodes to recap. And there's some good stuff coming out that's out now. I know Agatha on Disney Plus is out, so appreciate y'all staying in here, baying Doom Rocka, the average historian, for me and my breakdown recap of episode 6, Dirty Business, The Boys. Crazy episode. Again, if you have kids in the room, kick them out. They don't need to be watching all this nonsense on The Boys. So that is today's episode. So on that note, almost forgot. Just like I forgot. I forgot this last week, actually. I was moving too fast. So boom. My gamer's tip of the week is right here. Here we go. Explore diverse gaming genres. I've been playing for the last month now since this came out, Madden and college football. So I've been grinding just on football the last month, and I was like, you know what? Let's take a break from that. And so now I've been starting on Star Wars Outlaws. And so throwing an RPG in there, right? You're playing your game. So if you're an esports team, obviously you're grinding out your league, you're grinding out your Overwatch, you're grinding out your Rocket League, Halo Infinite, Call of Duty, what have you, Dota, StarCraft. Sometimes you need a break. You need a mental break from the grinding, the seriousness, the competitiveness. It's okay to take a break. I remember very clearly during my football career, a few coaches, Mike McCarthy in particular, would say, hey, when the bye week comes, get out of here. Don't touch football. Don't look at football unless it's something that like you want to support your university, but get away from the sport for the week. And then you kind of reset yourself and be ready to finish up the season, go a little harder than before. Because sometimes when you don't give yourself that break from that shooter or that RTS game or that fighting game, then it just becomes bleh. And when you have that bleh moment, you're not productive, you're not winning, you're starting to go where your mechanics are sloughing. They're not the best at the time. Your mindset is not there either. So taking a little break, explore the other gaming genres. They have so many fun genres out there. And it's what Bane says, definitely highest skill ceiling, right? Rocket League, and he says also Rocket League is the best game. IMO the best game ever. Yes. So yeah, so much happened in that episode. But yeah, for the gaming tip, yeah, make sure you find like Astrobot, yes, like Akito mentioned here, or with the game that John reviewed today, Plucky. What's the name of this game? Plucky something. Plucky Squire. Like fun RPG open world games, Super Mario Brothers. I say you probably have to go to Nintendo to find majority of them, but PlayStation has their games, Xbox has their games, PCs has their games, and where you're playing a game, but it's not a game. It's no competition in it. It just might be like I said, a good old fashioned RPG. Pull out Grand Theft Auto, pull out Hitman or something, pull out Starlight. What's the one? Starlight on Nintendo, something Starlight Delight Town or something. I can't think of it right now, but y'all know what I'm referring to. Go check out one of those games when you want to take a break from the competition and take a couple days off, maybe a week, and then get back into your competitive games. And if you're a gamer, if you're on a team, then you know what? It's just a couple days. You might have the weekend off from competition. Take those 2 days, play something different, or not play nothing at all. Just watch TV, watch football, watch your favorite movie or something. You got to do that to reset yourself. And then you find out other games you might enjoy in terms of the other genres, like I'm mentioning in this gamer tip of the week. So explore other genres out there. All right. So that's my gamer tip of the week. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. And if you want to find me on social, I'm on all of them. I'm on Instagram. I'm on X. Ahman Green 30, all one word. Please like, share, retweet any of my posts out there. I'm also doing Ahman Green's. I'm also doing Green and Go G Lounge with good former teammates Gilbert Brown and Dorsey Levens here on Ahman Green TV. And I'm also doing Believe in Packers, which is a good old friend and I say co-worker, Alex Fernando, breaking down Packer talk as well. And then I'll be doing more. Actually this week, I know I'm doing Let's Go Football here on Twitch on the Crown channel. I think it's either the Crown channel or it is Let's Go Football channel. So I'm not sure who's on the show with me yet, but I know I'm doing it on this Thursday afternoon or evening, roughly between 4 and 5. So check me out on there. And I might be around this weekend, so I might stream. I got a trip planned for this weekend, but I'm not in the mood to travel. Kind of have a long week here so far. It's Wednesday, and it feels like it's Friday to me. So just saying. So if I don't travel, I might be streaming this weekend. So hope you guys could join me. But I got Ragnarok to play on Saturday. Remember, I got that RPG mission to finish stuff. So Ragnarok, maybe Sunday, do some Star Wars, Outlaws, if I'm around. All right. So everyone, find me on social. Download the podcast whenever you can download podcasts. And then for my co-hosts, you saw there's Nikki, which is Rico on Twitch, John, also on Instagram and X as well. And we're on TikTok. Ahman Green Gamers on TikTok. Follow, like, share, spread the news about what we're doing here, and have some fun. So I hope you have a great rest of your week and see you next week. What was that? Boom. See you next week. Who was that? What's he saying? Go Pack Go. Oh, Sword Tang 11. Go Pack Go for show. Akito says cozy games. Yes, Animal Crossings. I've been playing Super Mario 3D. That's been so fun on the airplane. And yes, Disney Dreamlight. That's what it was. Or Stardew Valley. It was one of those. I got them mixed up because I think I said Disney Delight Valley. I don't know what I said, but you know what I'm talking about. Play those games. Put that in your rotation because right now my rotation is Madden, college football, Halo Infinite, PGA or 2K Sports 23 golf, PGA golf, and Star Wars Outlaws. And then it's going to be Tekken 8 and then Ragnarok. So I got 7 games of rotation right now. So there you go. Diversify your rotation of games to keep you fresh. All right. Even if you're not competing on a team, still keeps you fresh. If you're streaming, same thing. Rotate your games throughout your stream. If you are an influencer or somebody that's on Twitch and has a Twitch channel, please do that because then it brings in a whole new crowd every time you're streaming and you're playing different games. You get your main crowd of Madden fans or college football fans, but when you play Halo or you play Star Wars Outlaws or Gears of War or The Quarry or any RPG, Gears of War, stuff like that, you're going to get a new crowd in every time. So there's a longer gamer tip, more explanation to it, but like I said, you got to do that. Reset yourself. So have a great day. See y'all later. Peace out. All right, let me do this. Got the music. Let's get the music on first. Oh.